1 as they take down a Pacific Division rival. Great night for Brooke Lopez. Derek Jones Jr. led the way on the offensive end. And the Clippers able to get 10 assists and 8 points from Chris Paul. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, Clifford finishes with 19. Sabonis 15, Levine 13. Kawhi Leonard was excellent for the Clips in his 27 minutes, has 15 points on 5 for 13 from the field. Clippers get it done over Sacramento. They'll see them on December 30th. And Jordan Miller is going to put on the headset for us downstairs. Jordan, you got us?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks so much for hopping on. You got the starting nod today. What did it mean to you for Ty Lue to show you that trust, put you in the starting lineup?
Yeah, just a token of all my hard work. You know, it's been a long summer, a fun summer. Just trying to stack days, really get better each and every day. So tonight meant a lot. It's my first ever career start too. So just trying to build upon it.
Congratulations, Jordan. Definitely build upon it today. A nice two-handed dunk, 5 rebounds, 7 points for you. Coming into this season, what was the focus and what is the focus for you as you try to improve with every day?
Just coming to make an impact defensively. That's all I can do. And just show what I'm capable of. You know, going into year 3, I'm a lot more comfortable with the schemes and stuff. So just trying to go out there and make an impact any way that I can.
Last one for you, Jordan. You're on a team with a lot of veterans. It's been talked about a lot. So I'm curious, what's the best piece of advice you've gotten from a vet so far?
I would say just be present, right? Like a lot of it is fast and, you know, I'm trying to keep up with them. They got a lot of years of experience, but just be present, enjoy the moment. They say time flies. Feels like it goes by pretty long, but, you know, I'll take their word for it and just try to be present.
Congratulations on the start, Jordan. Go enjoy this one with your teammates. We'll see you Friday.
Appreciate you.
Clippers get a win 109-91 for Carlo Jimenez. RJ DeSanto, our engineer, bringing you that crisp audio. JR Parquette, our statistician, here up in the broadcast booth. That was Jordan Miller, nice enough to join us. We'll send it back to Burbank with Adam Oslin, who's got you all post-game hanging out with Daniel West. See you on Friday, 6 o'clock pregame. Thanks for hanging out with us. Clippers get their second win of preseason, 109-91 over Sacramento, as the road to preseason ends how the regular season ended a season ago in Golden State. Have a good night, everyone. See you later.
Clippers dominate the Kings up in Sacramento in preseason game number 3 as they win 109-91. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get into your postgame box score and get some highlights and maybe a special guest. But first, we head back over to Golden One Center with Carlo Jimenez, your radio voice of the Clippers. Carlo, let's start with Brook Lopez, who really got the Clippers started with his hot shooting early on again with that second unit.
Unbelievable stuff by Brook. Just continued to have a fantastic game for the Clippers. 4 for 5 from the three-point line, 6 for 8 from the field, and one of them was a fall away at the end of the shot clock. So really on shots, he didn't have to rush. He was 6 for 7 today with 26 points. Unbelievable. A plus 26 in this ball game. The most impressive part about Brook Lopez so far, Adam, has been his ability to stay aggressive in an offense where he's not the central focus, right? Like, he is not dominant with the ball. He's not asking for it all the time. But when he gets it, he takes advantage of those opportunities, and it leads to instant success. Chris Paul seems like he's having the time of his life with that second unit group. Him and John Collins, it's like, man, what do I do now? Do I throw a lob to John Collins? Do I find Brook Lopez for a pick and pop three? It's just a lot of fun to watch that group go together. Honestly, Adam, tonight it was more fun to watch the second unit play. Paul, Chris Dunn, Brook Lopez, and John Collins finished at worst a plus 24 today.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I felt like the starters initially were stuck in mud outside of DJ, who had some nice slashes to the basket. But when that second unit came in, they brought the energy. And it feels like they just have an instant chemistry already with new guys on this Clippers team and guys who haven't played together in the past. It's unbelievable. And John Collins really benefited from the passing, from the domination, as he dominated in this ball game with a Clippers high so far of 24 points in just 18 minutes. JC went 7 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from the outside. Made it look easy. The pick and roll was CP3 in the second half. I think it was late third quarter, early fourth quarter, where he had that big throwdown off the pick and roll. Love what we saw from John Collins tonight as well.
Super impressive what he did. I mean, look at the shot chart, Adam. Everything was inside the paint, really within 5 feet, or a corner three. The lone shot he missed was a right elbow jumper. It's the only shot he took outside of those two areas I previously mentioned. So really impressive shot selection, really impressive efficiency. And this is what he does. John Collins got paid 5 years, $120 million, because when he was with Trae Young, he was in the right spot. He finished corner threes and he finished around the rims. And the Hawks, rightfully so, rewarded him handsomely. Now he's getting to do that same role 5 years later and doing it at an elite level with Chris Paul as his point guard. There really couldn't be a better marriage than those two. Paul had 9 assists in the first 9 minutes he was on the floor. Ridiculous stuff. A guy who starts the game just so well. And you talked about that chemistry. And Adam, I think part of that is these guys just know how to play basketball in the NBA. There is a lot of experience. When you go through the Clippers rotation, who we'll see on a night in, night out basis, the guys with the least amount of experience, for example, John Collins, has 9 years. This is his 9th year in the NBA. And he has the least amount of experience if we go up and down this roster from guys who will play on a nightly basis, we assume. So when you have that much experience, when you have a team that's that seasoned, as Lawrence Frank says, they know how to play basketball at the NBA level, and it's just easy on the offensive end, and that's how it looked tonight.
Yeah, this Clippers team thriving with the second unit. I mentioned the starters getting off slowly, but then Kawhi Leonard got it going more in the second quarter, and then in the third, you saw more from James Harden as well. They eventually kicked into gear there. Ivica Zubac got involved too, but Kawhi Leonard was a bucket after a slow start. Ended up 5 of 13 with 15 points. And what I've been noticing is he's been getting to the free throw line a little bit more. Now, he was playing bully ball against Zach LaVine, but we're looking for signs of Kawhi looking spry out there. You can see it, of course, with the eye test, but if you look at the box score, he's been getting to the charity stripe. Guys are having a tough time guarding him. I think that speaks to the quickness and just how good he's feeling right now.
It's a great point, Adam. 6 for 6 last game, 5 for 5 tonight. Really getting to the line a lot, showing the ball a lot. I think he's made a more of a concerted effort to pump fake this season. We've seen him do it at the free throw line. We've seen him do it on threes when he's curling, really trying to get guys in the air. And look, Kawhi Leonard is one of the best in the NBA at making the tough shots. But the easy shots are at the free throw line. The easy shots are when you pump fake, you get fouled, and you can just walk to the line. Ask John Collins. He had a majority of his points today from the charity stripe. So if the Clippers can continue to get Kawhi to the free throw line and have him be efficient, it's just better for everyone. This is an older team, and they don't have the legs of maybe an OKC or what we saw from Indiana last year. But if you can get to the line often, you give guys an opportunity to catch their breath, to be able to relax. And that helps in terms of the flow of the game. This is not a Clipper team that's going to pick up 94 feet. This is not a Clipper team that's going to score 20-plus points in transition. This is a team that is going to pick you apart with their IQ and their experience. And part of that is being patient and slow on the offensive end and continuously getting to the free throw line. The Clippers averaged 22 free throws a game last year, Adam, 17th in the NBA. I would expect them to be in the top 10 this season.
You talk with one of the young guys post-game in Jordan Miller, who had a nice third quarter, a three-pointer, and then the putback slam off the miss from Kawhi Leonard with two hands. But also we mentioned Yannick Conan Niederhauser. I mean, this is a guy who, to me, looks different than he did in Summer League already. He only played the first 3 games of Summer League, but just his positioning defensively and knowing where to be and picking up the slack when somebody gets beat off the dribble, it just seems like it's starting to come around. The game maybe is starting to slow down. And by the way, because they have Brook Lopez, he might get a red shirt season where he doesn't have to have a lot on his plate. He's not up with the big boys a ton because hopefully he's dominating the G League a little bit, but they can bring him along slowly. But it does feel like the game is starting to slow down for him.
Couldn't agree more. This is somebody who really has 2 of the best leaders to show him the game. And, credit to Ivica Zubac. It is something he has talked about. So many big men gave back to him. And one of those he highlights is Brook Lopez. He says, when I was with the Lakers, Brook taught me a lot about how to carry yourself, how to get better at certain things, about how the league works. And Zoo said he's excited this season to have a young guy like Yannick, to be able to give back and be that mentor. You see the relationship Zoo and Brook have. Brook calling Zoo Zuby. Every time they'd be in Milwaukee, Brook would give Zoo a big bear hug, scream out his name. Now they're on the same team. I am sure if Brook was that kind of mentor to Zoo, Zoo was looking to pass it down to Yannick. And then Yannick gets taught by the master as well. So you get the master, the Padawan, and then you're the apprentice. It's a really good setup for Yannick Conan Niederhauser to have an excellent NBA career. He is going to be soaking up a ton of knowledge from Adam. I would argue a top 3 1-2 punch at the center position in the NBA. I think OKC obviously is up there. I'd go Cleveland if you call Mobley a center.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's top 3, top 5 at least.
No, it's slim pickings, and the Clippers picked a guy who could be a starter in this league. I think you said for 25 of the 30 teams. I agree with you. If the Lakers had gotten Brook Lopez, he would have been their starter. I don't know if they make the move for DeAndre Ayton. He chose to come to the Clippers. It is a blessing, a godsend to have a backup center that is this good, that is hitting Tim Duncan bank shot followays from both sides of the court in this game. He is on a heater. We need this to carry over into the regular season, but we still got one more preseason game on Friday up in San Francisco at the Chase Center. The Clippers will be taking on the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if you guys remember, but game 82 last season between these two was an all-time classic to decide who'd be in the play-in and who'd be in the playoff. So that'll be a good one. 7 p.m. tip-off with Carlo Jimenez. We'll have your pregame show starting at 6. It's not just the Clippers with their Zuby nicknames and stuff. You know, I call Carlo Jimenez with how good he is on the call. Carlo, great one tonight as well, my friend.
Appreciate you, Adam. Still waiting for that costume, but I guess I'll get the answer from you. And by the way, if you're ever in Sacramento,
I have to go through your closet to get it. I need to borrow some glasses.
If you're ever in Sacramento, you go anywhere, you just say you know Adam Osland. They get you free anything.
Oh, yeah. They roll out the red carpet.
They roll out the red carpet.
At least at Jim Boy's Tacos. Carlo, talk to you on Friday.
Talk to you Friday, Adam.
Coming up next, we'll get to your post-game box score. Clippers are victorious up in Sacramento. They blow out the Kings 109-91. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Let's go.
ball game. I think I'm unmuted now. Can you guys hear me now? Oh, I hate that. Kobe Brown had a nice steal wraparound at midcourt to lose his defender and had a two-handed finish that was just spectacular. Lost his man, went in for the big dunk. Yes, it was pristine. I'll take a quick timeout. I'm unmuted now. My God, F this app. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated sometimes. I did too much ranting there. It'll still show up on maybe I'll post the radio side afterwards just so you guys can hear the post game show. All right, coming up next, Chuck Mockler will join me. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to your Clippers post game show here on 8x70 LA Sports. Welcome back in. It's Clippers locker room. I'm Adam Osland after they win 109-91 up in Sacramento over the Kings. I think in mere moments, we're going to have big Chuck Mockler call into the show so the radio can also hear him. I'm Adam Osland. Not your usual Clippers talk episode because it's still preseason. And we ain't doing that stuff yet. But I see you guys here in the chat. I know you were mad at me earlier because the mic was muted. I'm never unplugging this thing again. Restream has been giving me so many problems because they update every day. Some might think that's a good thing. It's not. It means more bugs every single day. All right. I think tomorrow is the day we're going to do some clips and dip for you. And now join the show is Chuck Mockler. Chuck, how you feeling after this victory?
I'm feeling good, man. I first of all, always good to get the win, and I don't know. The bench cohesion probably has me the most excited. Obviously, it's preseason. Their veteran presence, especially with Batum out there, is an advantage in the preseason. But it's nice to feel so confident about the second unit going into next week.
Yeah, it feels like an uncanny ability to instantly mesh with all these new guys playing next to one another. I know it's just the preseason, but it feels like they've been together longer. I'm here for it. They came in and saved the ball game because the starters were not playing well at all from the outset. Those first 8 minutes or so were not pretty. And then Brooke Lopez got it going. Then John Collins, CP3 was dishing. That was pretty masterful to get this team unglued by the second unit. Chuck, I lost you on the phone. You still got the phone line? Not hearing him.
Oh,
Now I got you.
you got me now?
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. No, yeah, the Clippers were 0 for 6 from 3, and then Lopez came in and cashed one immediately, which was kind of a theme of this whole preseason. But how are you feeling about the starters not exactly showing up to play tonight to start?
It looked to me like a letdown after they got up for the Denver Nuggets, honestly, which I don't love, but I can understand how that happens. Plus, you're on the road. I don't know. It looked like they were just going through the motions. Outside of DJ was playing really hard to start. DJ has been trying to get his own offense going. As soon as he gets it, he's attacking the basket. I'm here for that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, Lob Murray did something that I liked where he was like, DJ is going to take the top off the defense, and James Harden will throw the pass every single time. Which gives this Clippers team that is old a bit of a, nice little boost in transition offensively.
The 70-foot layup alley-oop from Harden to DJ in the second half was pretty incredible. And I know Coach Lue doesn't like him taking some of those chances sometimes with passes that deep, but I think James Harden looked at it, Coach Lue, and was like, yeah, I mean, it works. Look at that. Kawhi did eventually get it going, and so did the starters, basically from the second stint onward, as they expanded the lead to 20 by the half, and I think 29 heading into the fourth quarter. But Kawhi was abusing Zach LaVine, who is not the greatest defender, was trying to defend, but couldn't do so without fouling. And actually, something I've been very impressed by so far in the preseason is Kawhi is getting to the line more, which can tell you he's moving more quickly. Guys aren't able to stay in front of him. I think he took 5 free throws in this one, 6 last time out. He's getting to the charity stripe, which those numbers have been declining over the past few years. I'm interested to see if that holds up in the regular season.
Yeah, so he didn't make any threes tonight, but he's also been letting threes fly at a way higher percentage of his usual field goal attempts than he does in the regular season. I think pairs well with what you're talking about, right? If he's able to show this juice, get to the line by going inside, he maybe has other chances to show the efficiency from beyond the arc too. The healthy offseason, we're seeing the dividend.
And I lost Chuck again on the phone. Wait, I might hear you now. No, I think you swore and I didn't hear that.
I know, I didn't swear.
All right, I hear you.
I never swear. No, sorry. I'm saying that Kawhi showing the burst inside with the willingness to shoot outside, I think shows the advantages of the healthy offseason. He looks so ready offensively, which is really encouraging.
Yeah, he's in midseason form. John Collins looked to be in midseason form tonight, leading them with 24 points, doing it in a variety of ways, but you can just see the motor out there. He's just a guy who's hard to keep track of with how hard he plays all the time. I do think there's some similarities to Montrezl Harrell with all the energy he has on the offensive end, but he's a force. He's a type of guy the Clippers haven't had in a long time.
And it does seem like he will be coming off the bench. I think tonight's starters were kind of indicative of that, and the kind of writing's been on the wall, but that's great because his offense with Brooke Lopez, the 5, and Chris Paul running the point is going to be very difficult for units to stop. And we're going to see him with Kawhi and Harden too, because Tyler's talked about those guys playing with more bench lineups. So I'm very excited for John Collins' regular season. A lot of guys are trending up right now, which I'm not used to this feeling in the preseason for everyone, for the most part, being ready, but feels good.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. I've been team don't lose your defensive identity. That point of attack defense was so good last season. And it looks like DJ is going to be in the starting lineup, and then Chris Dunn will be with the backups. It works to me. I know some people are going to be upset. Oh, you brought in John Collins and Kawhi is still playing the 4. So it could be matchup dependent still. If you're playing Denver, maybe you start him. If you're in a playoff series against Denver, you probably do. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think that point of attack defense was probably the biggest reason that they were the 3rd best defense in the league last year. You can't just let go of that, especially when you have one of the best in DJ, who has been trending in the right direction from distance.
And you're also adding Beal into the mix. And so I think if you were to have Collins next to Beal or on the same floor as Beal, you're asking even more from him defensively. Not that he can't be good defensively, but it's a lot easier for Beal to get comfortable with better defenders around him, which will help him, for energy on the offensive end.
Yeah, I agree. Bradley Beal, I think he can be competent at times with point of attack defense, but he's never going to be DJ. He's never going to be done no matter how hard he tries on that end. That's just not going to happen. That's unrealistic. Go with the guys that changed how this team played on a night-to-night basis last year and make sure they're still involved. And I'm very encouraged that they're not losing sight of that just because they got a lot of new shiny objects and they're really good, but you can't sacrifice your identity. You can't let go of what we had all of last season. That was too much fun knowing going into games how the Clippers were at least going to play on one end of the floor always.
Yeah, it really was. And tonight, Dunn had a steal on just a lazy, get a play started pass from the Kings. And just felt like Clippers basketball was kind of back. The defensive identity was awesome to see, even from a guy who's going to be coming off the bench. So year 2 of the Van Gundy defensive era, feeling pretty good.
This Clippers team ended up dominating the Kings tonight, 109-91. Chuck Mockler is our guest here from Clips and Dip. Charles, did you see anything that you liked from the young guys in this one? Jordan Miller got the start, and I thought he had a nice stretch in the 3rd quarter, knocking down a 3-pointer and that putback dunk off the miss from Kawhi. Outside of that, not a ton, but if you're starting and you're playing next to those guys, you're probably going to fade into the background a little bit. That's understandable.
Yeah, I guess it's good he didn't try and do too much. He didn't try and sabotage his opportunity to look good with the starters, because that's what it was, right? Like, he's the guy who's probably most in line for minutes of the young guys. Not that there will be very available. Kobe Brown, not the most ideal preseason so far. Yannick, he's rough around the edges, but he's got some good bigs to learn from. Great block, I think, last game. He made there was a play last game where he got an assist to someone for 3, but he kind of showed off the handles a bit.
Yeah, they missed the 3, but he was moving out there. His handle's real. Yeah. I am optimistic because defensively he looks better. Honestly, he looks better than he did in summer league with positioning and knowing where he needs to be. And he could be a redshirt guy all season anyways, because they have Brook Lopez. I don't know how much he's going to play, but
which is good, I think.
Yeah.
He shouldn't play a lot.
the stuff at least that has to be there. And the reason they drafted him, the athleticism, it shows. He can develop everything else. You can't teach him being this springy, him being able to get up the way he does. I do see the vision with him. I'm kind of getting dangerously excited with Yannick.
Oh, no. Yeah, if he can lock in and, do all the cliche things rookies should do when there's 2 vets, probably the best vet scenario position group-wise for any rookie in the NBA, from 2 guys to learn from, especially from a development standpoint. Lopez changed this whole game. Zubac gets better every single year. He's in a great environment to take advantage of. And like you said, the athleticism would pair really well with taking advantage of this.
He is Chuck Mockler from Clips and Dip. Charles, what time are we podcasting tomorrow?
I think 6 p.m.
Okay. Look for that, guys.
We can talk.
Well, it's scheduling. The Dodgers are playing early. There's a lot going on. It feels like everything's happening right now in sports. Thursday Night Football. We're going to make it happen for you. Big Will be there as well. Charles, thanks for joining me tonight. here on our Clippers Locker Room postgame show.
Thanks for having me. Let's go Clips.
Before we get out of here, I do want to remind you at the end of the episode, I will show you what La Murray said during the pregame show about DJ and who's going to be the fifth starter. And we have some other news of interest. Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, they are done for the preseason. For the preseason, that's the phrasing you want to hear. If I just stopped it, they are done. No, for the preseason, they're out. Seen enough. We're good. I'm fine with that. Put them in bubble wrap. Kawhi and James Harden. Zoo to be determined for Friday. So we might not see those guys till Salt Lake City, October 22nd. Clippers' first game is on the road in the regular season. First home game is against the Phoenix Suns. Haven't seen anything on Bradley Beal, but maybe the fact that Kawhi and James Harden are both out bodes well for Bradley Beal being available on Friday. It seemed like things were going that direction, but would love to see him in one preseason game. Coach Lou has already mentioned before that if he's healthy, he's putting him out there as a starter opening night, even though he hasn't gotten reps in with the guys during preseason. So I'm overly excited, not just for Yannick. Clippers next game, final preseason game on Friday. They're staying up in NorCal. They're in San Francisco from the Chase Center. Tip-off, same as tonight, 7 p.m. We'll have your pregame show right back here at 6 p.m. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call. Big brother Jake Warner, shout out. Daniel West, Milos Teodosic, our producer here in the bank. The listeners, Chuck Mockler for coming on. I'm Adam Osland. If you're watching on the YouTube side, don't go anywhere. We got some bonus coverage at Clippers Talk on YouTube. I'm Adam Osland. Talk to you on Friday on AM 570 LA Sports. All right, guys, I messed up earlier. I don't know if you noticed, but I unplugged the sound card and then plugged it back in. It should have been fine, but it had me on mute. That was annoying. So I will go through what I was saying when I muted myself. Gee, damn it. That was really frustrating. And then we'll hear from La Murray coming up. So a little bit of bonus coverage. Maybe you can call this Clippers Talk after dark, but I'm just so annoyed with technology and myself. So let's talk about it. I was coming into the second segment here. You may have noticed this was the third straight game DJ, Derrick Jones Jr., was in the starting lineup. I am not shocked by that. I had real concerns that the Clippers were going to go away from their identity of having a good point of attack defender in there. I know some are going to be upset if John Collins isn't starting. I'm not calling them casuals. I am saying you are missing the other side of that. If he's starting, your point of attack defender is Bradley Beal. I think he's capable. He's not close to Derrick Jones Jr. or Chris Dunn. It makes sense to start games off with DJ out there. You'll hear from La Murray on that in a little bit. But something I've noticed with DJ is how good he's been in the preseason with making quick decisions out there. This is a good thing. If DJ is in the starting lineup, he has to do more than shoot three-pointers. He has to attack the rim with reckless abandon. He had a dunk early on, as we'll go through some of the highlights, from the notable performers tonight for the Clippers. He had a dunk on the left block off a pass from Ivica Zubac. That got the game, I think, started for the Clippers scoring-wise. Then he did have a turnover looking for Ivica Zubac in the first quarter. But then a DJ and one after the first timeout attacking the rim. He attacked again at the 6-minute mark of the first. There was contact, no call, no bucket either. But I'm good with that. Just stay in attack mode. Use that athleticism. Because they're not always going to respect his three-point shooting, even though he shot a respectable almost 36%, almost league average last season. And then he had in the second quarter a layup going left immediately. Get it and go. That made it 49-33. He wasn't waiting for the defense to get set. As soon as he had an advantage, he would slash to the basket. That was at the 3:10 mark of the second quarter. Third quarter, DJ three-pointer. That put him up by 21, matching their largest lead off a nice feed from Ivica Zubac. So, Derrick Jones Jr., I'm seeing a little bit of evolution in his game so far in the preseason of just being more aggressive in looking for his opportunities to find alleys, to get through the maze of the defense with his long strides, long arms, and leaping ability. Now, I mentioned Ivica Zubac with that nice feed to him in the short roll, so I will go to Ivica Zubac next. Zoo didn't have a big ball game. While Derrick Jones Jr. had 12 points, 5 of 4 shooting, Ivica Zubac just 4 points, 2 of 6, 8 boards. Did have 4 assists to 0 turnovers. Sometimes he and Sabonis neutralize each other, or one guy gets the best of the other. I've seen this. They've gone back and forth in matchups. Sabonis had 15 in 24 minutes. Zubac just 4 in 23. Sabonis had 14 boards. Zoo just 8. It was Zubac's worst game so far. Maybe Sabonis had something to do with that. He did have a bucket out of a timeout after they started 1 for 8. Remember, the starters struggled mightily early on. He had a little left-handed push shot off a nice feed from Kawhi. Then in the third quarter, he had a putback dunk, Big Zoo, after Harden missed a three-pointer. But before we get to, you know what, I'm going to do it right now because this changed the game. It was the backups. The Clippers were down 16-10. They call a timeout. And they sub out at the 4:33 mark of the first quarter, a complete 5 out, 5 in. 1 in, 1 out at the club. 5 in, 5 out. It was a hockey line shift. Brook Lopez comes in. CB3 comes in. Nick Batum comes in. Chris Dunn comes in. John Collins comes in. And they went to work. They provided energy and pop. The starters looked lethargic. They did. Honestly. I didn't like what I was seeing. I thought, and I said this with Chuck, there was almost like a hangover or a letdown from the starters, maybe because they got up for that game against Denver. They look like it. And now they're up in Sacramento. They got up for Denver at Into a Dome. Against Sacramento, I didn't see the same level of energy and urgency and intensity from the starters. But when the backups came in, first Brook Lopez hits a three-pointer. The Clippers started 0 of 6 from the outside. Hits another one. Has a huge block at the rim on Clifford. Clifford, the big red block. Lopez, another 3. The Clippers go from down 6 to up 23-18. Second quarter. Lopez, another 3. 39-21. The Clippers are already pulling away. And this three-pointer he hit, Dario Saric was all over Brook Lopez. It didn't matter. Lopez then hit 2 Tim Duncan fall-away bank shots in the mid-range. Foul line extended on both sides. First, the left side, then the right. One of them came near the end of the third, one earlier in the fourth quarter. Lopez has been incredible so far in the preseason, but he's a great player. 18 minutes, has 16 points, 4 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the field. The Brookie Monster. He really got him going. But you could also say, well, the floor general was CP3 out there with that second unit that energized the team, that first stint they had, that got the Clippers unlocked and their offense unglued. CP3 had a steal that led to a Nico three-pointer to tie the game at 16. Then a 3 to end the first quarter, a buzzer-beating 3 by CP3. Another steal in the second, found Dunn for a layup, a pull-up in the third at the free throw line. Fourth quarter, wide open 3, Chris Paul knocks it down. Then found JC, John Collins, for a big dunk on a beautifully executed pick and roll. Like, there are a lot of things to like with this Clippers second unit, especially because Chris Paul has the keys. He's in control. It makes everything else work out there. So, who else was in the second unit? As I'll give you the CP3 stat line, just 4 points, 8 points, 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 from the outside, 10 assists in 18 minutes for Chris Paul to 1 turnover. The point god is still at it, guys. He played all 82 games last season. He was good with San Antonio. Don't be surprised. I like the way he was moving out there too, more importantly. But the guy who benefited on a lot of those assists, John Collins. JC led the Clippers with 24, 7 of 8 shooting, 2 of 2 from the outside, 8 of 10 from the free throw line, plus 6 boards, didn't have a turnover. Collins started things off with an and one at the beginning of the second quarter. Then a skilled reverse layup off a CP3 pass. It was tough. You see the dexterity, the talent there. Coordination from John Collins. Then he hits a corner three-pointer at the 9-minute mark of the second. And then a Collins dunk off an oop from CP3. Nobody picked him up out there. He was waving for the basketball. Made it look easy because he's got pogo sticks for legs. In the third, Collins a turnaround push shot and one, spinning. Missed some free throws. Missed 2 free throws. Clippers missed some free throws as a whole. But then a 3 off some great hot potato passing around the perimeter. With everybody out there, they eventually got it to John Collins on the near side corner. I mean, this was the most beautiful possession of the night. And Collins knocked down that near side three-pointer. He's been hitting his threes just like he did last season, shooting 40% from the outside. So, what about the starters? Did they ever really turn it around? I gave DJ his flowers earlier. Jordan Miller was in the starting lineup. He had a 3 in the third. He had a putback slam out of a timeout off a Kawhi miss with 2 hands. Speaking of Kawhi, his first make didn't come till the 5-minute mark of the first quarter, a long 2-pointer. But then Zach LaVine was on him, and Kawhi was just punishing LaVine. Ooh. He bullied him. He pushed him around. There was a play where he lost the basketball underneath. They thought it was a travel, but I think somebody tipped it, went back into his hands, picked it up. Near side, short corner, little push shot from Kawhi. Then he had another strong move on Zach LaVine with a right-handed hook from 6 feet out, just backing LaVine down. A Kawhi midi, a quick move to the free throw line. All of a sudden, the Clippers were moving with and playing with tempo and pace out there. Then Kawhi bullied LaVine for a long 2 on him, then got fouled on a 3 by Zach LaVine with that new high five emphasis they're putting in. Can't do that anymore on a shooter. Kawhi was nasty. I felt bad for LaVine. Kawhi had 15 points, 5 of 13 shooting, but started really slow and then picked it up. 0 for 4 from the outside, but did get fouled on a 3 and hit all 3 free throws. James Harden started off slow again, had some bad turnovers, had a heart-to-heart with Jeff Van Gundy at one point. They were talking to each other, but he had a bad turnover early. Second quarter, a bad entry pass to Kawhi at the 5:10 mark. Just sloppy. I think threw it over his head. First points for James Harden came at the 2:06 mark of the second with a floater. Was fouled. and one, but missed the free throw. Third quarter, Harden blow by on Dario Saric, where you could see he's got his legs underneath him. He still can get by guys for an easy bucket. Harden then got to the midi, pull up on the right elbow. I like seeing that from him. Then he was dancing and got an and one to put them up by 23 with a little left-handed flip shot almost. And then had that crazy long outlet, a 70-foot pass to DJ, who caught it in midair. It was an alley-oop scoop layup that they converted. Like, this was Quentin Johnson from Justin Herbert. Crazy play. What else do I got for you here? I mentioned Zubats. I mentioned Jordan Miller, Kawhi, DJ. What about the rest of the young guys? Big Yannick, Big Jan. Big block on Devin Carter at the 6:30 mark. He was tracking him, and Conan the Destroyer was out. He had another big block at the 3:30 mark of the fourth. He came in for Brook Lopez in the fourth quarter. Yannick, Conan, Niederhauser. Patrick Baldwin Jr. got some minutes. Remember, there's a new two-way spot up because Trenton Flowers was let go. He had an ugly reverse layup that he missed in transition. He got a bucket at the very end of the game in garbage time, but you could argue garbage time came early. Kobe Sanders came in for Jason Preston at one point late, got a bucket on a nice layup going to his right. Jason Preston didn't show much in this ball game when he was out there next to CP3 in the fourth. Kobe Brown did have a steal and wraparound at midcourt with some nice ball handling to lose his defender with a two-handed flush. That got everybody out of their seats. So the Clippers go from down 16-8 early, from looking DOA with the starters, to then at one point having a 12-0 run to put themselves up 20-16 in the first. In the second quarter, they led by as many as 21, as the backups kind of said, hey, starters, kick it into gear. When the starters came back in, they struggled for a little bit, and it was just Kawhi getting buckets, but then they still were up by 20 at the half. And the starters did better work in the third quarter. Harden started to get loose. They were up 90-61 heading into the fourth. So up by 20 at the half, up by 29 heading into the fourth. Clippers put this one away early, and Kawhi officially has played. Tonight, Kawhi played 27 minutes, 11 seconds. It's the seventh most minutes Kawhi has ever logged in a preseason game, and the most minutes he's played in a preseason game since he logged 30 minutes and 41 seconds on October 10th of 2018 during his only season with the Toronto Raptors. So I guess Kawhi's feeling pretty good. Doesn't need to play on Friday. We've seen enough. I don't need to see him play anymore in the preseason. I'm good. Put him in bubble wrap. He ain't playing anymore in the preseason. Haven't seen anything on Bradley Beal on if he's playing on Friday. Vita Zubats to be determined for Friday. Law Murray, who came on with me earlier, and you're going to hear from him in a second, I think might have been our only media member at Golden One Center. So I will play you what Law Murray said to me in the pregame show as we get back to the issue, that negative connotation, get back to the topic of who that fifth starter is going to be. I think you guys can hear me again. I'm going to play this and share the screen. Law Murray joined me on Clippers Countdown, the pregame show, and I asked him about DJ. So I'll share my screen with you guys. You'll hear from Law Murray. Hold on.
Playoff series. Every single game they had a point of attack guy. 5 box scores together, 3 out of 3 preseason games to this point.
I thought it was also telling, and maybe they tipped their hand.
This is a great Clippers roster, and Brooke, I can tell you, like, Trent Flowers did not win
You're good.
I asked him about these young players that are competing and the fact that there aren't a lot of preseason games. There's really not a lot of preseason games against other NBA teams. A week ago, they were in Oceanside playing a team from the Chinese Basketball Association. You're not seeing these guys. Sunday, when you saw the Denver Nuggets in town, a bunch of guys did not play. Trenton Flowers was one of them. But Kobe Sanders was another one. Sanders is not in danger of losing his spot. Like, he's a second-round rookie. So the guys that are competing between Jason Preston and Patrick Baldwin Jr., Ty Washington Jr. is on this trip here in Sacramento. John Poulikitis is not here. Jamil Telfort, who was with the team in Vegas for Summer League, those guys have a chance to get this last two-way. Again, I'm not sure you're getting a whole lot of insight from how these preseason games go. The Clippers have a lot of things they want to see out of the veterans, but it's been a lively competition for that spot, and Trenton Flowers did not win that competition.
So Friday, there's going to be a two-way spot up for grabs, and that's going to be one of the big storylines. Who gets it? But I think I asked Law Murray here about DJ. You've been talking a lot with the coaching staff about the front court. John Collins, Brook Lopez now with this Clippers team. Brook looked incredible the other night with the shot. Like, how much has this changed the demand? Looked incredible tonight, too. But that's not the question I was looking for, Adam, you dumbass.
So back one, I've been
Kawhi, Harden, Zubats.
The best meets the best. This is a great Clippers roster, and Brook Lopez being available is a big part of it.
Here it comes. Can you say definitively at this point that DJ is the fifth starter when the Clippers are fully healthy, and it's him, Bradley Beal, Kawhi, Harden, Zubats?
I can't definitively say it, but this is something that I've been making a point of ever since they started to change the roster in July with these veteran additions. I made the point then. The Clippers started one of Chris Dunn or Derek Jones Jr. every single game, regular season and the 7-game playoff series. Every single game they had a point of attack guy. The Clippers did not magically become a top 5 defense and not 5 after being an also-ran defense for the previous 2 seasons. Point of attack defense was an offseason priority once they decided to let Paul George walk, and that transformed this team. So to compromise that just because you have this embarrassment of riches as far as the talent level overall, I think Tyronn Lue gave a pretty big heads up a week or two ago when he said that he's looking for the best fit for his starting lineup. We've heard that word fit before. Marcus Morris Sr., you guys didn't go on Twitter wondering why Marcus Morris Sr. was starting all these games and T. Lue throwing the word fit out there. Like, there's a lot that goes into these lineups. It's not just throw the best 5 box scores together on a basketball court. There's a lot that goes into it. So there is not going to be, there's going to be games where you saw the Denver Nuggets here and it's like, let's start John Collins. Let's see what this looks like right away against Aaron Gordon. That's a treat that you get in the preseason. But besides that, I think the Clippers are like, look, we have an identity. We formed an identity last year, and it was not anything from the offensive end. It was because defensively they said they are going to have elite point of attack defense, and you saw that. And if Derek Jones Jr. doesn't start, then he doesn't start. I don't think Derek's going to be too broken up about that. But it is telling to me that he has started 3 out of 3 preseason games to this point.
I thought it was also telling, and maybe they tipped their hand, when you asked Kawhi Leonard about John Collins, about having that size, and he said something to the effect of right away, when it comes to starting, I think it's going to be pretty much the same. And I was like,
We used the word similar.
Yeah, okay, similar. I thought that was great work by you, and I actually did an episode on Clippers Talk right away saying, guys, I think it's DJ. I think it's going to be DJ because Kawhi may have let the cat out of the bag there. So you've been on this the entire way, of course, Law. Oh, how about that? Did I tell you? If DJ ends up being the starter, I'm going to be dunking on some people because I tried to tell y'all. I did this show, and I called it, Did Kawhi Just Give Away the Starting Lineup? I told you I thought this was significant. I may have to pat myself on the back if DJ ends up being the 5th starter when they're fully healthy. Let's see. What did Kawhi say again? I told you.
He stood out to you. Maybe he did this intentionally. Rousseau is a funny guy as well. Justin Rousseau.
How the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
So this is a question about having that true four with size, athleticism, and also a guy who can shoot from the outside.
Listen to this. Listen to this. This is what Law and I were just talking about.
Commented before about, position that you play or don't play. And I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins on this team, practicing with him, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
So this is a question about having that true four with size, athleticism, and also a guy who can shoot from the outside, which you need to have next to Ivica Zubats. Question here from Law Murray. Kawhi in the past said, I'll play the four till we get a real one. So I think he's referencing that a little bit.
I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins on this team, practicing with him, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but it's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'll let you hear the full answer, and then I'll get into the part that I think is interesting.
Once the season
Put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but it's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger wings, centers, and also John can stretch the floor, also get post up small, so, and even his size. So, it's a great contribute for us.
What's your
Okay. Kawhi starts out there.
It's always great to get an additional body that could guard bigger wings, center.
Okay, I need to play the full question again for you. Because the first thing he says, that got me thinking a little bit. That raised an eyebrow.
Position that you play or don't play. And I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins on this team, practicing with him, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts. And a question about having a big body now in John Collins. We don't know who the fifth starter is. Sounds like there's an open competition for it. That makes me think Kawhi saying, I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, that he still is going to be starting at the four.
Did I cook?
That it could be him next to Derek Jones Jr. or Chris Dunn in the starting lineup. That's the way I interpreted this.
Having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
Law is digging here, rightfully so, to get some intelligence on having John Collins, and many assumed he'd be the starting four, which would move Kawhi to the three, but Kawhi here is saying, I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts, but
Am I reading too much into it?
No.
Or does that mean John Collins is coming off the bench and Kawhi is still going to be at the four?
I think so, Adam.
Now, first of all, him being at the four doesn't mean he's always guarding fours. That's not how the NBA works anymore. That's not how the Clippers always work. And I think it's been a little bit overblown of an issue because of a series against Denver and Aaron Gordon, who may have gotten 2 or 3 buckets on Kawhi in the post, a couple of physical plays against him. Remember, James Harden was guarding Aaron Gordon a lot. So it's not as simple as, Kawhi's playing the four, that means he's always guarding the other four.
No,
That's just not the case. It's so incredibly lazy that people keep thinking of it like that. It's not 90s NBA or early 2000s NBA where everybody guards their position. I remember watching recently LeBron James's first game in 2003 against the Sacramento Kings. And because he was playing point then for Paul Silas, he's playing the one, which you can argue, yes, he's a point forward now. He still plays point guard a lot, but he was playing the one back then in 2003 in his first game. And guess who's guarding him for the Sacramento Kings? The other team's one in Mike Bibby, even though he's way outmatched size-wise by LeBron just because back then, yes, that's how it typically was. It's not that way anymore.
I want to know from you what it's like having John Collins on this team, practicing with him, having a bigger body after, how the roster's been put together the last couple of years.
So having a bigger body, does that mean you're sliding back to the 3? We don't know who that 5th starter is. We know Bradley Beal's starting. We know James Harden is. We know Kawhi is. We know Ivica Zubac is. But it is not set in stone. John Collins is the guy. And now I'm really starting to think with this answer from Kawhi Leonard, it's going to be DJ or Chris Dunn.
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts. But
I think it's going to be pretty similar once the season starts.
Told you.
Meaning you're going to be at the 4 again. Not.
Y'all might want to listen to me once in a while, because there's a bunch of people in the comments there that said I was reading too much into it from that episode that happened before, I think, their first preseason game. I think there's a real good chance DJ is starting, guys, and Kawhi gave it away in that interview. Said it's going to be similar. We'll see. I don't want to pat myself or break my arm patting myself on the back too much, but I think it makes all the sense in the world where you always have DJ or Dunn out there for point of attack defense. That solves a lot of issues right there off top. That's how you maintain that defensive integrity. I'm Adam Osland. You've been listening to Clippers Talk After Dark. Yeah, I don't know what this show was. We went in all these different directions. The branding is getting tough. Okay. Have a good night. They have Batum and John Collins. They aren't lacking 6'7" and 6'9" wings. And Kawhi.